Hello and welcome to my channel. So tonight's video isn't going to be on YouTube drama or anything like that. Tonight's video is actually going to be on a subject that hits very close to home for me. And when I say hit close to home for me, I mean the person involved in the situation is actually one of my relatives, my blood relatives. I grew up with relative. I changed his diaper, relative. Okay? So just give me a second to get this together a little bit. Okay, so my brother was dating this woman, right? So this story is about to be not so much about the story of how he got arrested and in trouble, but so much so about how they met and how he got entangled with her. Now, no, I'm not going to be giving too many details, but I'm going to give some. I'm going to give enough. Okay. So I was living with my mom back in, I say maybe, this was over 10 years ago. I say I was still 28. So it was around about that time frame that he met her because I had moved out of my mom's place and I had got my own apartment out in Westland. And my brother and mother ended up moving in to my grandmother home because they ended up leaving my mom's house. They wanted to go over there because she needed to help out with my grandmother and type things. So they moved in with my grandmother. Okay. One day my brother is walking down the street to do something. I think he was looking for jobs, but he was on his way back home. And Vera Miller, the woman in the thumbnail, pulls up to my brother. Like she made a U turn into traffic to whip up on the side of him. She approaches him. Her and her friend, both in the car, decides they both want to try to talk to him. So both of them now are trying to holler at my brother. But for whatever reason, he chose to go with Vera. Okay. So they began to date for a little bit or whatever. She wheeled him in by lying to him and telling him that she was a worker for the board of a bank branch. That was the first lie. That she helped clean or clear people credit. That was the second lie. And that she was single. So that was the third lie. And it was some more lies in there, but I'm not going to put those out there. But she was a liar, pretty much, and a scammer. And he fell for it. So she wheeled him in. She buying them stuff using her husband's money to buy stuff for my brother. And I'm trying to tell him because he told me about her, but he didn't really tell me much about her. So I'm like, okay, well, I want to know more about her. Like, what she got going on, how old is she, what she got going on in her life that attracted you to her. So he told me that she told him she worked for a bank and all the rest of this type stuff. So I met her at my uncle's home because it was one of our family gatherings during the summer. We throw barbecues. We throw a lot of barbecues during the summer. So we meet up at my uncle's house during the summer, and he finally introduced me to her. Now, she pops up. She got 3 kids with her. I'm not really minding the kids. I'm not really paying the kids no mind, but I'm trying to focus more in so on her. So okay, we talking. He introduced me. I tell her my name, all the rest of this. She tell me hers, all the rest of that. The woman then turned around, and what should have been a red flag to me was she was allowing her 13 or 12-year-old at that time to drink. And I'm like, hold on, sis. Kids don't drink around here. Any minors, we don't have no cups and no liquor to around these parts. So if you're going to allow her to drink, you need to do that within the confinement of your home or your car, but not in the open, not over here with us where they could feel like we're consenting to children drinking. We don't do that. We don't give kids liquor around here. So she took the cup back from the girl and she continued to try to tell me some things about herself. Now, I'm going to play, before I get more into this story, I'm going to play the news story for you so you can know what type of trouble they in. But the lie that she told the police, she does for a living. Because remember, I told you that she told us she worked for the board of a bank plus some other shit. She cleaned your credit, all the rest of this other shit. So let me pull up this video so I can play it so we can listen.
And was put in a shock collar and it was used on him. Here's what else came out today in court.
This is case number 20-1507 FY People versus Miller and Hall.
The couple making a virtual appearance in court together.
That's Hill, ma'am. His last name is Hill.
Veer Miller and Corey Hill now face 5 counts of torture, 1 count of unlawful imprisonment, and 1 count of assault. Authorities say last week they found a man naked hiding in the bushes. Investigators say the man told them he was being held captive at this home on the 4000 block of Burton, and under this roof he claims he was tormented.
Explain state that Hill and Miller put a dog shock collar on him, shocked him with it. They whipped him with extension cords, beat him with a wooden board. They took boiling hot water from the hot water heater in the basement and put it in a bucket and forced the complainant to stick his hand in extremely hot water for several minutes.
Inkster police say the man was once friends with Miller and Hill and agreed to pay $400 a month to sleep on the couch. However, the criminal complaint says Miller and Hill forced him to sleep on the floor, took all his money, and made him do the unthinkable.
He stated there was a time in which they made him chew on a urine-soaked face towel that the dog had gone to the bathroom on after having an accident.
Miller and Hill's court-appointed attorney said they have 3 children, ages 14, 11, and just 2 years old. Their attorney also said Miller is a hairdresser who works out of her home and that the couple has no prior record. Neighbors next door to the family are in disbelief.
I didn't interact with them.
Okay, so you see, she went from being a hairdresser, from being on the board of a bank and cleaning up your credit and so on and so forth, to being a hairdresser. Mind you, she don't do hair either. Okay? Never touched nobody's hair but her own, and she barely got any on her head. She is not a hairdresser. She lied about that too. What she is a scammer and a manipulator. That's what she is. So back to the story. Now she didn't tell him that. Now she's trying to tell me that. And I'm looking at her like, child, your wig looked like it got ran over in the middle of the street. You is standing in front of me with house shoes on and motherfucking stretch pants. But you want me to believe that you work on the board of a bank. of a bank. Okay, I'm gonna need to see you on a business day. I'm gonna need to see your attire on a business day. Okay, for me to believe that you are so-called working for banks and shit. I need to see that for myself before I can go and believe that. Now he's falling more into her. She didn't even got so deep into it where she done wheeled in my mama. She done wheeled in my sister. I mean, she throwing money at people trying to buy their affection. Now me, you can't buy my affection. I'm not that friendly. I don't like none of my brother's spouses. Be clear about that. I don't like none of them. I barely like my cousin's spouses, okay? And I have to get to know my uncles before I can tell you if I like them or not. So I'm not the friendly type. I'm gonna smile all up in your face and stuff, and I'm gonna accept your gifts because you're trying to make me like you type person. I'm not that type person. So now they're getting closer together. She's spending a lot more time visiting my grandma's house with my brother because, remind you, I told you, my brother and my mom moved in with my grandmother. So she's spending more time there with him. And somehow he done ended up moving in with her somewhat, like he had spent nights at her house when he shouldn't have been, because mind you, I already said that she was married too. So you taking your ass over to another man's house to sleep, that ain't never a good idea. You don't never disrespect another man's home like that, because you wouldn't want another man to come up in your home and lay down with your bitch for days while you're not there at all. Now they're doing that. They're spending time at her house sometimes. They spending time at my grandma's house sometimes. Her husband have found out now. Him and her husband is into it. He's spending more time at home now. I don't know what happened, but somehow, a matter of fact, I do know what happened. He found them together in his home. Okay? He found them together in his home, in his bed, very much so undressed, doing things with each other that he shouldn't have never been in that man's bed doing to begin with. Okay? Now they get caught. She got to leave. The husband want to kill her. My brother has to leave my grandma's apartment because she can't move into my grandma's apartment. Now, my grandma and my mama then somehow gave them the good idea to make a beeline towards my home. I tell my brother he could stay, but she can't, before they even got there. But my mom and them called me talking about, don't do that, be nice. You ain't gonna get your blessings if you don't help them. First of all, I ain't gotta help no grown ass woman that's my motherfucking age. Use my brother for a place to stay. Mind you, she's supposed to be working for banks and stuff. She should have an extra home to go to. Why they gotta move into my home with me and my kids and bring 3 kids with her and him that ain't even his kids? Meanwhile, he ain't even trying to find his own damn daughter that he got out here that's the same age as his nephew. But you gonna bring this woman and her kids to my home. So I allowed them to talk me into this bullshit up until I didn't. I'm not gonna say what happened in between that, but let's just say for a grown woman, they kept on crossing boundaries that shouldn't have been crossed. They kept on ignoring rules that I set in my home. So I told her big ass she had to go. I was getting ready to move anyway to a different apartment because I no longer like the people that was moving out to where I was now, because it was starting to become loud and I don't like all that noise around me. So I was gearing up to move again anyway. Told him he can come, I'm not throwing you out. You can come, but her and them kids is not coming with me nowhere. She needs to go find herself somewhere to go. She worked for a bank, remember? She got all this money. She was buying you all this shit with her husband money. She needs to go find somewhere to be at. I don't allow grown women to just lay around my house and do nothing. Nothing. You ain't paying nothing. You ain't doing nothing. But fucking up my fucking dishes and my home. You smelling up my house. You got to go. Now, he done followed her to the homeless shelter. I would have never followed no damn body to no homeless shelter. I don't give a damn. You ain't my responsibility. We not married. I ain't going to no homeless shelter with you. But he did that. He followed her ass to the homeless shelter. She ended up getting Section 8 while she there, which should have even more cemented to him that she lied to you and you need to go. Your relationship was built off lies. It ain't gonna never work. But no, he stayed anyway. So, okay. Now she done got Section 8. They done moved out into Brownstown. But then they moved from Brownstown, I guess, because they couldn't get nobody to come out there and visit. Or whatever the hell that town is called out there. I think it's Brownstown, but don't quote me on that. Then he ended up moving to Inkster, where they caught this case at. Now, you and this woman that moved into this home together. You done let her talk you into allowing this man, because he's disabled, to move in along with you guys so that she can get full access to his money. But why do she need his money? And then why do you need his money? Because be clear, my brother had a job. He was working for the hospital. So he had a job. He was getting a nice paycheck for the department he worked in. No, he wasn't no doctor or nurse. So don't think that. But he was getting nice paychecks for the department he worked in. So they really did not need that man to move in to take his money to begin with. So he allowed her to talk him into letting this man move in with them. And now she's treating him in the same manner that she treat her kids, because she knows she can get away with it. Because he's disabled. He's a grown ass disabled man. And not only that, my brother ain't all that bright either. I'm not going to sit up here and laugh at nobody just because he's my brother. My brother ain't that bright either. I've always have told people my brother is semi-slow. Okay? And he's a follower. He's very much so able to be manipulated into doing things. I grew up with the man. I know him like the back of my hand. Like I said, I changed his diaper. He was my baby brother, so I babied him. Out of all four of us, Corey and Myron, which is my other brother, got the most attention because they were the only boys. So we babied them some, especially Myron, because he came out with a heart condition. But that's another story for another day. Now back to Corey. So he done allowed her to manipulate him into allowing this man to move into her house. He watching her beat on the man. He done let her talk him into doing that shit, even though you ain't never been raised to attack nobody who can't attack back. You ain't never been raised to be the type of person that's going to go out there beating up on people who can't defend themselves, who you know can't defend themselves. But I personally watched the demon come out of her with the way she treat her own kids. Okay? I'm talking about the type of parent that will beat you, hit you 20 times and call them 20 lick punishment. Will hit you 20 times on the bottom of your feet because CPS don't look at the bottom of your feet. Hit you 20 times in the palms of your hands because CPS don't look at the palms of your hands. You get what I'm saying? Even the grown daughter who lied in the news story for her because she got caught going in and out the house one time by the news. Even she lied and tried to say that her mom wasn't abusive. But girl, do you not remember I got pictures of the whole right side of your face being bruised because she was beating you in the face with a damn ruler? Do you not remember that I told your mom she was about to have to get the fuck out of my home if she kept on hitting on y'all like that? So nobody remember that. Now, he done went out and let's play this story again because I'm very much so disappointed. And when I say disappointed, I was disappointed to the fact to where I didn't even want nobody to know that he was my brother. I had already stopped talking to him prior to him getting arrested because he kept on dealing with her. And they kept on trying to force me to like her. Meanwhile, all the hell I was trying to do when I came across her was take her head off for everything that she did in my home while him and her was living in my home. So this time I think I want to share the screen because I want you to get a good look at this. Just look at it. I'm pretty sure whoever is from Michigan who is a subby of mine probably heard this story already because it was all over the news. Hopefully it'll play right too because AT&T, I don't think they like me all that much. They love fucking up my lives.
Dave Carolyn, that couple entered a not guilty plea here at the 22nd District Courthouse today. Stomach-turning details were laid out. Investigators say that man was put in a shock collar and it was used on him. Here's what else came out today in court.
This is case number 20-1507 FY People versus Miller and Hall.
The couple making a virtual appearance in court together, holding hands inside the Inkster jail. Veer Miller and Corey Hill now face 5 counts of torture, 1 count of unlawful imprisonment, and 1 count of assault. Authorities say last week they found a man naked hiding in the bushes. Investigators say the man told them he was being held captive at this home on the 4000 block of Burton, and under this roof he claims he was tormented.
The complaint stated that Hill and Miller put a dog shock collar on him and shocked him with it. They whipped him with extension cords, beat him with a wooden board. Took boiling hot water from the hot water heater in the basement, put it in a bucket, and forced the complainant to stick his hand in the extremely hot water for several minutes.
Inkster police say the man was once friends with Miller and Hill and agreed to pay $400 a month to sleep on the couch. However, the criminal complaint says Miller and Hill forced him to sleep on the floor, took all his money, and made him do the unthinkable.
He stated there was a time in which they made him chew on a urine-soaked face towel that the dog had gone to the bathroom on after having an accident.
Miller and Hill's court-appointed attorney said they have 3 children, ages 14, 11, and just 2 years old. Their attorney also said Miller is a hairdresser who works out of her home and that the couple has no prior record. Neighbors next door to the family are in disbelief.
I forgot to unmute my mic. I had a brain fart. I'm sorry about that, y'all. But look at both of them sitting there looking stupid. But you let her talk you into it. Because anybody who would tell you, who know my brother would tell you, he was a goofy type person. Like you couldn't even take him serious enough to think he'll go out and do some fucked up foul ass shit like this to somebody. But seeing as though I've seen her personally do it to her own kids she gave life to, I never put it past her as being the person who did it. But I did not sit up and not place blame on my brother either and say you was motherfucking stupid for participating. Why would you even do shit like that to the helpless? What did you get out of it? What did y'all get out of that? My brother, my baby brother that I babied, went out and did some foul, fucked up shit. Wasn't even raised to be like that. But this is what you turned around and did, though. And yes, I would say again, I was so embarrassed by the shit. I disowned him. Like, I didn't even want nobody to know that we was related. I deleted all his pictures from all my social media. Because I feel like this. I tried to help you before you even got this deep in with this woman. Okay? I tried to steer you from her. I actually tried to move you away from her. Not only that, my cousins tried to talk you into leaving. My grandmother didn't want you with her. Your sister, our sister, your father, my stepdad did not want, everybody did not want you with her. And now look what happened. Look what happened. Now you sitting behind bars looking dumb. And we supposed to be willing to help you. I was supposed to be willing to come out of my pocket to give you bail money. Or find you a lawyer. Give you money to find you a lawyer. I wasn't motherfucking doing that. Because I tried to help you before it even got this far. Why did you allow it to get this far? So yeah, that's pretty much how they met. The road they was walking while they was leading up to ending up behind bars. But I just wanted to try to do something different tonight. And since I cover news stories on top of YouTube, on top of what happens in my personal life, I felt like it was finally time for me to just accept the fact that my brother went out and did some shit that I never thought he would ever do. That the brother who protected me from being shot, who got shot for me, went out and abused the helpless. Somebody who had such a joyful, sweet spirit turned around and tortured a man. Because that's what your bitch wanted you to do. And yes, I'm going to call her a bitch. Tonight, that hoe is all the bitches. She's a whole bitch. So I wanted to do something tonight to bring y'all a little bit closer to knowing me. Because like I said, I want my subbies to subscribe to me because they like me. They like the content I bring them. I'm open with y'all. So I wanted to be open about a situation that I tried my hardest to keep running from. But apparently, I cannot run from my family, especially after watching and reporting on Toxic Diamond situation with her mom. I felt like if I'm telling them to get counseling, at some point I am going to have to forgive my brother for what he did. But I don't never have to forgive her. Ever. And I'm not. And it's still, every time I see her, it's on site. Even if she is behind bars. If I come up there in the visiting lounge and you there, I'm going to attack that ass. I'm going to tap that ass. If you happen to just so get out one day, I'm going to be there waiting. I'm going to tap dance all over that ass. But thank you for coming by. Thank you for listening in the bushes. I appreciate you. And I'll catch you guys on the next video.